So people start understanding that carbs are the villain. But listen to me. In order to build a lean body, in order to build a body that have a great, beautiful, long muscles on your body, you need the carbs. You need the complex carbs. Hey, let's go. Let's go. So yesterday I put a question box in my Instagram and I was like, what is the crazy things you have heard? And I had so many answers that I was like, wait a minute. I literally have to go live there. And I have to talk to everybody about this because this is crazy. And I want to help you. And the idea is, what is the 5 things that are hold you from becoming lean? So the 5 things. So I got a bunch of questions. And if you do want, you have more, go there and have Yap and Boo more because I probably have to come live twice to cover all of them. The first thing that I got was, what is a bad fitness advice that you got it? It was, you're not going to believe it. Don't eat fruit because fruit has too much sugar and it's not good for your body. Can we talk about this a little bit? So when somebody tells you to don't eat fruit, I think the first question you have to do is why? What do you mean I shouldn't be eating fruit? Right? And I think the most important thing is, what if, who are you? And the thing is, do you have any health related issue? Do you have diabetes, for example? So all those, it's going to be, it depends. But the majority of thing is, I want you to think about why it's not okay to eat fruit, but it's okay to drink juice. With my girls, I have a rule, okay, that's called the rule of one. And we talk about the rule of one so much. And I created this rule of one to help you achieve a better lean body. So you can start looking lean and feel strong. So, what is the rule of one? You look to what the food, it says one ingredient. Rule of one. So if I look at fruit, if I look at apple, how many ingredients going to be? Apple, right? It's only going to have one. If I look at applesauce, that's more. Some of the industrial ones has more. So I think the main idea here is to you start focus more on the rule of one. So don't make the fruit. The person who told you that, I'm sorry, they suck. But I want you to start to think about this is the fruit, it has all the, like, they have tons of vitamins, tons of minerals that we need. It has fiber, what we need. I sit in one of a nutrition class that I was taking, and we're all discussing about nutrition. And there's a new idea of counting fiber as a micronutrient, not just protein, not just fat, not just carbs, but fiber and water as well. So if you start thinking about this, the fruit is the one that's going to have the fiber to help you to not let your insulin spike. So that is a terrible, terrible fitness advice. Okay. So we talk about this. Why? Because it's one, it's a rule of one. Two, has the amount of fiber that you need. Now, like I said, if you're diabetic, it's a whole different thing. It's depend of the amount that you're eating, right? Now, the second one, and if you want, okay, I already got a request here. Hold a second. Now, that's one. The second one is, ooh, carbs is bad. We're gonna hold. I just recorded the second podcast just now, like literally an hour before. And we're spent a lot of time talking about carbs because what I want you to start thinking about is, I'm going to say something to you that might be, I want to pick your brain a little bit. Why do you, people are start having, being so afraid of carbs nowadays? One, when keto start being a huge thing, okay, thinking about superheroes. I'm going to tell you a story about superheroes. Think about superheroes. When, if you want to make Superman a big Superman, you have to create a villain. So you have to create Lex Luthor, which is suck as a villain, but we're not going to go that way. We had to create a villain. And when we start thinking about carbs, when you start thinking about keto, you had to create a villain. You had to create a villain. So We know that we can't, in order to be keto, you can't do carbs. So people start understanding that carbs are the villain. But listen to me. In order to build a lean body, in order to build a body that have a great, beautiful, long muscles on your body, you need the carbs. You need the complex carbs. Now, if you ask me, Isa, okay, what if we compare bread, white bread, to brown rice? They're both carbs. Not all carbs are made equal. Not all nutrient, no, not all calories are making equal. So when you think about like what is the closer to the rule of one? What is the closer to the rule of one? What is going to bring the most nutrients to you? And that's what I want to focus with you today. That's what I want to make you understand because that's the second time I talk about rule of one. If you compare brown rice to white bread, white look to the ingredients. Brown rice is going to be brown rice. Bread is going to have a bunch of different ingredients. So the idea of they're making carbs this horrible thing, when in reality, we need the good carbs. We need the complex carbs. We need the fiber that the carbs will bring us. Because if you think about fiber is a type of carb, right? So when you start looking to this, that's not so scary. When you think about carb, do you have any connotation that brings to you? So if you think about not just social media, but like the media in general, right? Because before that it used to be the TV. Now we all have access to to a phone. Once we start, I was talking to this beautiful girl on the podcast today, and she was talking about that she went on keto for a long time. And I was like, okay, did you lose weight? Yes. Did you check a percentage body fat? No. Okay. Did you lose a good amount of weight first? She was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, it's because keto is a great strategy. You can use keto as a strategy, not as a lifestyle. And when we're talking about creating a lean body, you have to be in a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle. There's no other way. There's no restricted diet that you can sustain being lean. Okay. So once you start thinking about this, things start turning around. Okay. In order to be lean, I need to have muscles. In order to grow muscles, I need my carbs, complex carbs. Again, if you compare white bread to brown rice, it's not a fair comparison. It's not a fair comparison. If you were talking about bad fitness advice, those things that if you're trying those things and later on you realize that it wasn't a great advice, that could hold you back. And if you're here, it's because you want to build a leaner body. You want to look lean, you want to feel strong. And if that's not your goal, don't know why you're here. Bye. Okay, because that's what we're here for. That everything that I do here, everything that I do in my page, every content that I put is to help you to look leaner and feel stronger. Because I love that, because it's not about, and I decided to actually say feel stronger because that's what I want. And that's when I talk to my girls about like, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel that person that you tire all the time? You want to feel that person that you don't have the energy? Or you want to feel the way that you're like, you know what? I feel solid. I walk and everything, I feel good. I have the energy. I have the energy to sustain. So, is that what you want? I want you send me a message. I want to comment here, said, hey, yes. And also more love. Yes, more heart. It's always welcome. And if you think so far those two mistakes or something that you made or something that helped you understand, do me a favor. There's a little plane over there. Send this live to people that you love. Send this live to anyone that you like. Do you know what? My friend that I love, my sister, somebody that I love that that they want to look lean, send that live to them. We're going to start doing lives every single day because I want to come here and I want to share and I want to scream so much louder because there are things that are holding you back and things that, thank you, I'll take that. Some things that are holding you back and some things that you shouldn't be doing. And it's creating more, How do I say atrito in Portuguese, in English now? It's creating more difficulties. Friction. Thank you, hubby. Friction. It's creating more friction in order in preventing you to get the lean body. Okay. So what you want to do right now is send this to all your friends, send this to the girls that you love, and you're like, okay, this girl is actually saying something that's helpful. So now let me go to number 3. There's a bunch of them. And if you have more bad advice, go on my stories when we're done, not now, and do this. Okay. I don't need to have any carbs. I love how much carbs that I got here. Okay. Ooh, I have a training one. Let's talk about training a little bit. Good. You just need to train 3 days a week. Okay. Now I want to see if you got that. When I say you only need to train 3 days a week, first, my question is going to be like, what do you mean 3 days a week? You could be training 3 days a week and I love that. I love that. Yeah. You could be training 3 days a week and not actually doing anything positive. You could be training 6 days a week, but you're actually not training in a more positive way, in a more productive way, in a more effective way. Running out of words, effective way. So the idea is not how it's how not many trainings you do a week, it's how well you're training, how well you're actually creating this beautiful mind muscle connection that often we don't realize and we don't talk about. I have so many girls that come to me and say, why you're the only one who talks about this? And I'm like, I'm not the only one, but it's definitely the other ones that is actually screaming because this is so important. Isa, what is the mind muscle connection? What is this? Okay. So, you know what I keep saying and I keep talking about all my content about the training smart. Okay. So I want to break down that to you. Imagine that you're doing a squat and I'm literally going to stand up and do a squat. Hold on. So if I'm over here and I'm just doing a squat, that squat means nothing to me because one, I wasn't paying attention on my movement. I was not trying and pay like and looking and pay attention and focusing on which muscle I'm working. How am I activating the muscle? When you do training like this, when you do training like this, when you're not aware of your movement. You're not creating this mind muscle connection. Doesn't matter how many times you train. Does not matter who is next to you. I could be next to you as a trainer. And if I didn't ask you, if I didn't make sure you were actually doing the work, you're feeling the work, that would not be enough. So that's why when people look at me and say, is 3 days enough? Is 4 days enough? Is 5 days enough? My answer is going to be always like, what are you doing in those 3 days? What are you doing in those 4 days? Are you number one most important thing is, are you creating this mind muscle connection? Are you paying attention in your movements? Because it's funny because Amit and I were talking about this in a restaurant and I was explaining to her, she was like, oh, sometimes when I finish, when sometimes I finish my training, I don't feel that I train enough. And I was like, okay, did you feel your muscles like tired by the end? And she was like, no. And I was like, so that's why you're lacking. You're lacking is understanding how your body works, understanding how do you activate your muscles so you can do the exercise much more effective. So that's why I'm so picky about mechanics. And I'm a hit on my girls so much. And I start creating so many videos for you to make you understand that it's not the amount of training that you do, is the quality of the training that you do. Most of my girls, they do 35 minutes training, 35 minutes training, and they are lean. They're becoming lean. Why? Because now they're understanding that they have to do something that nobody else can do for them, even if you have a trainer next to you, because the trainer is not going to feel the exercise the way you're going to feel. The trainer are not going to, they could actually help you fix your form, which is a very big thing too. But creating that connection, understand how your body works, that is what's going to make a difference. And that's why I'm so, so picky about how are you training? How do you supposed to train? So it's funny because in my story, a little bit, tell you a quick story. And when I came here about 13 years ago, I went to my school. I went to do my master's. I got a scholarship to play soccer and swim in a small school in West Virginia, and a D2 in West Virginia. And when I got there, I had a really hard time, and I ended up gaining. I was 30 pounds heavier than I am right now. And it wasn't about the weight. I always say that. It wasn't about the weight. It was about the way I was looking myself, the way I was feeling, the way I was looking in the mirror and I wasn't recognizing myself. First, I was in denial for a long time, a long time. Then I started noticing my pants getting tight. I was like, it's fine. I'll just work out extra and I'll be fine. But when I start realize when it really clicked that I woke up, I had my day one. That's the day that I look in the mirror and I was like, who's this person? What is going on with me? I'm not the same person, right? And when I start going back, I start to training, I start to losing the weight, I start having better results, faster results than some of my clients, for example. And at the time, I was like, why do I have, why? Like, what is going on? So I start understanding and I start searching and I start looking and I'm like, wait a minute. Because I studied biomechanics so much, I studied kinesiology so much, and I understand how my muscle connection works. And I was like, I don't believe. Is that it? So when I realized, I was like, dang, I realized that what is happening right now is the fact that I know how to move my body, and some of my girls don't. That's when I put my foot down. And I was like, I'm going to teach them in the most effective way. I'm going to teach them how to train smarter, how to train in a way that they're not just following somebody on the screen. They're just doing follow along. They're actually moving their body in more effective way. So I end up, long story short, I'll tell the whole story. Do you know what? On February 2nd, we're going to do this big event that I'm so excited about. So I stopped looking for who's the best person who's the best in the world, who's the best of like cueing. Cue is what I say when I do my exercise videos. And I say like a push up. I was like, screw your hand and do this. I was like, who are the best? Who are absolutely the best in the world that can help me teach that to my clients in a better way? Found a guy. He's here in Boston. Couldn't believe. So, but I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell my whole story on February 2nd. February 2nd. Just write it down. February 2nd. So, when I start understanding how to teach that better to my girls, guess what happened? They start having better results. They start having better results. They start seeing faster results because they understood that they had to learn something that nobody else can do for them. They had to understand how to properly move their body. So that's why I'm so picky when I teach exercise, when I do exercise tutorial to you guys, because I want you to take that. I want you to, you know what? I'm going to learn this thing and I'm going to do it right. Because there's worse, nothing worse than you keep doing things and you don't see results. That's why we get unmotivated. I was talking to this girl during the during the podcast, and she was saying that I was like, okay, why do you quit? And she was saying, I don't know. I don't know why I quit. And I was like, okay, let me ask you something. Would you get bored if you see your clothes fitting better? If every time you get out of the shower, you're feeling like confident? And she was like, I don't think I would get bored. So we get bored because we don't see results. We get bored because we get unmotivated. No, everybody would do. If you start doing something and you don't see the result coming out of the effort that you put in, who wants to do that? Right? So the idea is learning how to train in a smarter way, because when you learn in the smarter way, you're going to be able to see faster results. And when we get the results, we get motivated. And there's this huge misconception that people think in order to you become in order to start, for example, or push harder, you have to be motivated. Oh, Isa, I haven't started because I don't have motivation. Now let me organize myself to say that. And drink water. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put in the comments or put in the question box. I'll get to that. But if you're not starting because you're not feeling the motivation, I have terrible news. You're not gonna do it, because it's not about me motivation. It's about taking the step. It's about having that action steps that once you start, and when you understand how to train, you understand how the food works, you get this momentum. And when you get this momentum, you're going to start seeing results because you're going to be more consistent. And when you start seeing results, when you start going in the mirror and start looking to yourself in a different way, when you start opening your closet and you start wearing those pants that you haven't worn in a long time, because we all had those pants. Now, when you start wearing the clothes that you want, yeah, I want some heart for the clothes in the closet, right? When you start understanding that, and when you start celebrating those, even those little pieces, that makes a whole difference. That's when you get motivated. That's when you're like, you know what? I'm going to increase my weight, or I'm not going to miss a training, or because you start feeling this and you start becoming that person. You becoming a person that doesn't need motivation to start, because you are already motivated because you saw the results. But if you're training 2 hours a day, I had a client that came to me. I'm not going to say, but like her trainer had her to do 200 burpees. Yes, in one day of training. And she was exhausted and she wasn't seeing the results. And she was about to get hurt. Thank you. No burpees. Team no burpee. We're absolute team no burpee. So that's the whole idea. It's to you, it doesn't matter if it's 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. As long as you're doing something that absolutely it's going to drive your results. Absolutely, you're creating that mind muscle connection. You understand how your body works. You understand, because nobody can do that to you. And some days we are tired. But some days, instead of waiting for the motivation to come out of the sky, how about we say, I am just going to foam roll. I am just going to foam roll. And if you don't foam roll, that's number one thing. We're foam rolling. I'm just going to foam roll. And I start foam rolling. And then I was like, I already started foam rolling. I can just, do a quick workout, just a quick one. And by the time I'm in it, I'm not quitting, right? The harder part of going to a run is what? Put your shoes on. So create little systems that would make you do this in an easier way. Because once you start doing this in an easy way and you're creating systems to get you in that routine, your lean body is going to show. Your lean body is going to show. And I promise you that you're going to start feeling stronger. You're going to start feeling motivated. And that is what it's the easier part way. It's to maintain that. Most of my girls now, they do 4 days lifting. I do have few of them doing 5, but it depends on the goal. It depends what do you want. Okay. But 4 days is a perfect balance. Why? Because there's 3 days left and you can do whatever you want. And those 3 days does not mean sit on the couch and do nothing. It's do some type of active recovery, do some walking. We need to get out more, and more than ever, we're just sitting. And we wonder why our butts looking the way they are looking, right? I'm gonna make a whole live about butts because it's becoming a thing in my group. Like all the girls are like, "Hey, we talk about butts," and I'm like, "Yes, yes." So, and about the things that we can do, especially because all the sitting. So, I went over what 3 or 4, 3. Now let's pick one more. If you have another bad fitness advice you want me to come here and destroy it, put it in the comments and I'll get to it. Oh, also, I'm start going live this week every single day this week. So I do have girls. Oh no, she did not come here. I'm gonna make you do a live with me. If you want to come do a live with me and ask, because we've started the podcast, right? And it's so exciting. I'm spending, oh goodness, I'm spending hours, like an hour and a half, an hour talking to girls and like breaking up like their little not little, some of them are not little at all, like the problems that they're having, how can we overcome the obstacles they're having so they can have their lean body. And I'm actually planning to start doing the podcast live. So right now I have, I think, 3 spots left because I have 7 girls to find out. We want to do 10 to start. Still have 3 spots left. The only thing you need to do is DM the word gas to me. Send me a gas and I'll send you everything. We're gonna go. Yeah, we're doing right now, we're doing in a Zoom, but eventually I'm gonna start doing live. Okay. Having a personal trainer will make you lean. that would be that. No, just having a personal trainer will not make you lean. Now, what I tell to my girls every time we start, okay, especially the new girls, it's a 50-50. I'll teach you everything that I know. I'll teach you how to proper train. Because if you don't know how to proper train, doesn't matter. I could be next to you, but if you're not moving the way you're supposed to move, if you're not making the mind muscle connection, we talked so much about it today, that would happen. Okay. So that does not having a trainer, does not signing up for a program would not make you magically do this. You have to understand that you have to learn the things that nobody can teach you. Nobody can teach you, just you. You need to learn how to do the exercise. You need the trainer to give you the periodization. You need the trainer to give you the plans, because there's 2 things you can do. Like you can learn, you have to learn the things that you need to learn, but also the trainer is going to be there to give you the guidance. Okay, now that you know how to train, here's your plan. Here's what you're supposed to be doing. But if you get the plan, not knowing what to do, that's not going to be as effective. And if you don't get the plan, you're the type of person that you're the bunny, the program hopping bunny, the one that goes to different classes every week with no focus. Focus. Lee was going to complain about my focus. Focus. Yes, focus. So when you do things like that, when you hop in different classes with no direction, with no plan, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to get better, that's actually going to hold you back as well. Okay. So I want you to start thinking about those little things. There's stuff that you need to know, and there's stuff that is not your job to know. That's your trainer to know. That's a person that's creating your plan to know. Okay. There's 2 different, that's why I call it a 50-50. I can lift the weight for you, I can cook for you, but I can guide you in how to train in the most effective way, and I can guide you how to eat in the most effective way. So this way it's a win-win. Okay. But this is very, 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 very understand. I'm so excited. Again, say I would love message. Isa, that was awesome. That was not good at all. Don't care. If you're here, I want to bring you to becoming I want to make you look leaner and feel stronger. That's why we're doing this. That's why I'm here. That's why I decided to come every single day live to you to help you understand. I really wish I could just open your head and just put all that information in it, because I know it's going to make your life so much easier. It doesn't need to be this hard. Thank you. I love the hearts. It doesn't need to be this hard. It does not need to be this difficult. It doesn't need to be this hard. But there is a way that you can train in a smarter way. And that's why I'm here giving everything to you and showing everything. I still have 3 spots for the podcast. Send me a message with the word guest if you want to become one of them. Okay. And after, we're going to do lives, which is going to be really cool. So I'm going to come here live with you, and you're just going to pop in a live and talk to me. Deal? If you have a question, It was that helpful to you? And that's my biggest question. Was that helpful to you? Would that help you turn the way? Oh, look, just got a notification about my girls finished the training. Good. Is that helpful to you? I'm going to come tomorrow again. Send me a DM with the word guest if you want to come on the podcast with me. And I am so grateful, so, so grateful. I'll see you later, okay? Tomorrow.